Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Be Elite Podcast. My name is Gavin. I'm going to be the podcast lead for this year. We're going to be talking about superheroes today. It's a very, very fun topic. Something that I've really never put much thought into when it comes to schoolwork. So it's definitely one that we're all very excited to try on. So for our first question, we're going to have, who are your favorite superheroes and why? Feel free to jump in, everyone.
Okay, so my favorite superhero is Thor, because one in the Marvel MCU, he goes through a lot of things. For instance, all that emotion with his brother, how his brother for some reason continuously switches from hero to villain. If anybody have seen the TVA, the new one, I just kind of find it shocking. My most funny the I want to ask, what's your opinion on it?
I love Loki. Okay, Loki, he might be troubled somewhat, but I love him. He has a special place in my heart. Um, but my favorite superhero, I would say Loki if he wouldn't stop switching back and forth. But my favorite superhero is probably Batman because no, he does not have powers. Okay, but he's like super smart. He builds he has like his gadgets and stuff. You know, he doesn't need superpowers. He's got his
I
brains.
feel more
Brain
bad
power.
for Loki than Batman because here's why. Unless I forgot, there's a scene where he gets thrown at the enemy. He's
That's true.
literally.
That is really true. I love that scene. It's just like, oh,
No,
no.
please, my brother needs help. Help me. Help him. Help him.
I think my favorite superhero would have to be Batman as well, given the fact, a special relation to one of my favorite actors there. Um, Definitely, Batman is probably one of the best superheroes probably of all time. My opinion, just saying. But one of the best superheroes of all time. He does use his brain a lot. He is Alfred, which is a very, very
He's
good butler.
Alfred?
Um, yeah, it's he's incredible. That's why I obviously adore him very much. I also love the Marvel universe as well. One of my favorite characters from the Marvel universe is similarly, they're both kind of close to each other, Iron Man and Batman, because they both build their own gadgets and they both don't have superpowers themselves, but they use what they built themselves, which I think is very, very cool. And I feel like they relate in that sort of situation.
I would also agree with Batman. First of all, he's always like has his own secret lair where no one can annoy him. I am in the dark, and I like it because why not?
And
Okay.
you can go first.
Oh, did I interrupt somebody?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So, on the subject of Batman, you might get a hate for this, but I kind of wonder, does he ever show any emotion in any of the movies? Like, I've been watching some of them, and to be
Hear me
honest,
out.
all I see is just anger for Superman most of the time, and I'm just
He's
like,
just
what
like,
the heck
I'm
did
Batman.
he even do?
In the comics, you can find out. But
I get in the comics, but I'm talking about in the new stuff, like is it the DCU now?
give
I don't
me
even
a.
know what you call
I'll,
it nowadays. Is it
I
like the
don't even.
Gunverse
There's
or
so many
Some.
CUs at this point. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
I'll just be
I'm
like,
having
And
trouble
like the
figuring out
Lego
the
one.
I tell people in the Superman world or in the Batman world, I don't even use Marvel, DC. I'm just like in their world.
They're all in their own world.
Yeah, they have their own worlds. Anyway,
Yeah.
I will
I
say
swear their
I
Earth
love
is like
that.
2 times bigger than ours at this point with all the
It's just
heroes and
like
everything in it.
no. My mom tried getting me into Marvel, and I think we started with Thor, and I was so like, oh, wait, so how is that connected? She's like, you need to watch all the movies. How many movies are there?
Just around 105.
She's
Like,
like, I don't
six or
know.
seven.
There's like
They've been
four.
making them before
There's
like I was
four
born. I was
right
like,
now.
sadly, yes, they've been making them before probably all of you were born. with all
I
my
was
Wow.
like,
movies. But
you're
real
old
quick,
already.
you mentioned Marvel, and I want to jump in there because favorite hero for me in comic books would be Spider-Man, because in comics he didn't have web shooters that he was able to just shoot out. It was he had to build them. He had to find ways to pay the money to make the web fluid. He was a photographer by day trying to make money to be a superhero, and I always
That's
respected that,
sorry
because
for interrupting about Spider-Man, but the hardest part I get, they like introduce the Spider-Man where he just like shoots the webs naturally. Like he
right,
doesn't need the machinery to do it. He could just do it.
right.
Absolutely. And
I
that's
kind of
That's
wish
Tobey
every
Maguire's
Spider-Man could do
that's
that. And kind of
that's isn't that Tobey Maguire's universe? I'm pretty sure it is
yes,
where he
yeah,
and they
where he
I
shoots
actually
out
think
of
mention
his.
so. I
and they what's funny? They actually mention it in the new Spider-Man movie where they're like,
yeah,
we
No
they're
Way Home was
it's
it?
like yeah. It was like they're all standing next to each other and they're like, so, we can't do that. So we're just like, wondering how you can do that. So yeah.
If I remember right, they were all yelling at each other, going like, "I can't even do that. I have to build it myself."
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And real quick,
Exactly.
I'm gonna pass it off to Ashley in a moment. I just want to add real quick, like right now in this day and age, one of the coolest superheroes I've seen pop up on the small screen has been Wonder Man. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Wonder Man
Oh,
is a
yeah,
fantastic series, and it's so good because it's character building, right? It's all about the relationship between Simon and Trevor, like they're the mentor mentee of acting relationships, and you just see glimpses of his power. I'm a big comic geek, so like I grew up with
okay, I
Wonder
get that
Man.
you're talking about it, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie. Please, no
Oh,
spoilers.
no spoilers at all.
Yeah,
It's just
dude.
really, really well done. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it.
Oh yeah,
Ashley,
don't worry. I'll watch it after this meeting. No,
and Ashley, who would be your superhero, favorite superhero, and why?
Um, I mean, of course, Superman. I mean, I did grow up, being a big Batman fan. But I think for me, maturing was realizing that Superman, I think, was underrated rather than overrated. I feel like a lot of people pass him off because he seems like he's just some god. But obviously, of course, I am a comic geek too. And when you really read about him, and even in the movies, if you're willing to look past, this alien, right? Because technically he is an alien. He comes from another planet in space, and it's fine. But we
also,
kind of see that he has this hidden sadness to him. This sadness that he carries of being different. And I know that a lot of us might be able to relate to feeling very out of worldly. And it's a very common experience for a lot of people who feel very different. And so I don't know. I like him because he can be very powerful. I think that's very obvious. Just looking at him, you already know who he is. He doesn't need to explain it to you. And that's what I love about him. He doesn't have to say it to you. That's just who he is. But he does the right thing anyway. Even though he could literally sneeze a whole planet away, he doesn't do that. So that for me
Right.
is why he's
wrong
most
comic,
favorite.
wrong universe. But I'm gonna say, don't worry about being a comic geek. Uh,
He
Don't
can't
worry
fly.
about being a comic nerd. But
All right.
as for Superman sneezing the planet away, he'd have to be. I would think that would have to reference the one where he stays in the sun for like 15,000 years or something, where he gets his most powerful yellow form.
Actually, can
Absolutely.
I add on to what Ashley said?
Sure.
I was thinking because you did say he has a hidden sadness. A lot of us do. So it's actually a very important thing for authors to try and communicate a common like denominator between a superhero and a reader, because if you don't, then they're going to be like, oh, this is like some perfect guy with superpowers who helps everyone, when in reality Superman has certain issues and that can somehow relate to us.
Mind if I add on to that, Aaliyah? This kind of goes, what you're saying kind of actually goes on to the newest Super movie. What the heck? Sorry. The newest Superman movie they made, where it goes like, oh, well, this message was damaged when I got here. And then wait, has anybody seen the. Okay, I'm just making sure I shoot no spoilers. If not, spoiler warning. By the time he gets the message again, he sees the other part that was damaged where he was supposed to rule the planet as the last son of Krypton.
Yes, and thank you for sharing, Jesse. I really appreciate it. Genesis, do you want to go ahead and say your favorite superhero, and then we're gonna move on? Okay.
Yes, thank you. So my favorite, I actually have two. I like Batgirl and Wonder Woman. Like, I like that they're compassionate and like they're fearless, like brave. Yes.
And thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's awesome. Ashley, why don't you take us off for our next question?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Let me pull that up. Okay, so question number 2 is, what do superheroes mean to you?
Ah, dang it. No.
You know, I can jump in here
Clearly,
really
someone
quickly.
who saves the planet.
You're actually, I really like that one, Eliza. Thank you for sharing. But what I think superheroes mean to me, well, what superheroes really mean to me are they are there as a second, but they're there for protection. I feel like they help in a million different ways. There's real life superheroes actually, that go out and help homeless people. They go out and help people that have to live on the street because they can't support themselves with money. And definitely, I feel like they're heroes because they help people out. That's what I feel like superheroes mean to me. It doesn't mean you have to have flashy superpowers or whatever. If you help the community, you're a real hero. That's my opinion.
Okay. Here's what I want to say what a hero means to me. And this could possibly not make sense, but I'm going to just say it. The way I look at a hero is something like in the biblical sense. Like they were like God had said, hey, this is what you need to do. And it could be leading through traumatic experience to help communities, like how they got hurt in an emotional way, or like they got uh like they've either suffered or they were chosen to help this certain person along their journey. Or sometimes how we also view it as like an angel comes down to like help them in disguise.
I was gonna say when Gavin mentioned superpowers that you don't need like telepathy or telekinesis for it to be a superpower. It could literally be compassion or kindness or like being able to speak for a certain cause. Then it would actually
Does that
help.
match what I was saying? I'm just making sure.
It does. Then if it does, then I'm adding on it. So so everyone doesn't need a certain superpower to help per se, and maybe not necessarily in the biblical sense, but it could literally be I'm compassionate, so I want to help people who maybe need some money. I want to give them some money for food or water. I have the gift of speaking. So let's say if someone does, then they could say, well, I want to speak against blah, blah, blah to help the people who are affected by that.
I think it's more than just speaking. Because I didn't say this, but my favorite character, I don't really watch most superheroes, is Captain America. Because even though he was not a superhero, he still sacrificed. He was willing to sacrifice his life to protect his teammates. He always wanted to um, do it. And if you say it by the biblical sense, God usually he usually sends the least of us. The most least unlikely person is the one to be the hero in that sense. So always Captain America I liked much better than any other because it was in his willpower. If you have the will, there's a way to do whatever you believe is right.
Definitely. To me, superheroes symbolize hope, courage, and they just stand up for what's right. Um, so like they don't need capes, like Gavin said, they can literally just be like a normal person in your community that wants to help out.
And you can even do little things by helping people, like giving charity or giving giving to people in need, and that also makes you a hero for your community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Genesis, do you want to go ahead?
So, for me, a hero means like, yeah, what Hadley said, like you don't need a cape, a mask, whatever, to be a hero. You can just like help out when people need it, and like be there for them.
Which is great, and I feel like that's what a real hero is. So I'm going to be moving us on to our next question, which is going to be, what was your earliest memory of any superhero? And I want to jump in on this really quickly because I want to answer that real quick for myself. The earliest memory I've ever had of a superhero was Iron Man. And because that's probably why I like Iron Man so much. And it also can be really anything for anyone. It could be comics, which for comic, mine was Spider-Man instead of Iron Man. So it could be really, whenever I mean Iron Man, I mean movie. Whenever I watch the Iron Man movie. That's the earliest thing I know of any, like, superhero so far. But yeah, anyone go ahead next.
My earliest memories goes back to my dad. That's my hero. For instance, he went through a lot to like do everything. He's been there for a long time. He's also struggled. Sorry, I got distracted. He kind of just went through a lot, and he's like doing well now. Like he's helping me find hobbies like writing my book and things. He's given me advice on what I should do, and to be honest, avoid jobs that help with my mental health rather than go against, like his truck driving job. Since I have anxiety, he doesn't want me to have a job he doesn't like.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate that kind of hero because a hero can be really anyone. It doesn't really have to be. It doesn't really have to be just a fictional one. Incredibly, like I could bring up family, friends, something like that as well. Just like you said, that helped me out through times not so clear. But yeah, definitely I appreciate what you said there, Jesse. Genesis, do you want to go ahead after, and then Laya, you can go ahead. Sorry, I mess up your name so much. I really apologize.
Sure. So, my earliest memory of any hero, even until now, is my mom. Because she's always there and she's always helped me when I need it. Like, yeah. um, she she helps me learn from my mistakes. And yeah, she's she's my hero.
I'm gonna combine basically like Gavin's and Jesse's. Okay, my dad has a heart problem and he has like a scar right on his chest that Iron Man has. And he would always tell me I'm Iron Man. And I'd be like, so I remember one time for show and tell, I was like, no. And I was like, my dad's Iron Man. And all the kids were like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I just remember being like so proud of my dad. And like that's my earliest memory. And that's kind of
Sorry for laughing at that. It does sound like a serious problem, but I also have to enjoy that because there have been some dads like mine that have done that just to like make people happy.
yeah, my dad, he turned something that wasn't necessarily the best into something that really like lit up my world and I could brag about it. And sure, the adults would be like, "Oh, Mija," and I'd be like, "You don't know what you're talking about. My dad is Iron Man. Okay, my dad is Iron Man."
Which
But
is incredible.
like, you know, when your parent does that, it really just lights up your world.
Absolutely, I really appreciate that. And yeah, moving on, we have one more podcaster that wants to say something real quick, and then anybody that wants to jump in, they can. Then we're going to be moving on to our next question.
May I?
Nico, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so my earliest memory of like a superhero, I would say, is my mom because she's like she always supported me when I was like not feeling like that good. She just like cared for me so much that she is like she's an amazing person. She's a Christian, so she taught me about Christianity, and that's how so yeah, I would say my mom.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I very much appreciate that. Absolutely. All right. Does anybody want to say anything else? And we're going to be moving on to our next question. Ashley, move us off for our fourth question.
Yes, thank you very much. So next question is, what superhero do you see yourself in the most and why? And I guess I'll answer this first. I wish I could say Superman, but I don't think any of us could probably see ourselves as Superman because he's just so well, he seems so perfect. So I'm gonna have to say Supergirl, which she is my second favorite superhero of all time. I think I really see myself in her the most just because she's like Superman in some sense of she does see the good in everyone, but she deals with a lot of what happened and she's not a superhero because she's being asked to. She does what she does because that's what she chooses to do. She wants to do it. She wasn't sent here to save the whole world. She was just sent here to look after Kal-El, which she found out very, very shortly that Superman, he doesn't need my help. So for me, I think I like her so much because she's so messy with what she does, and she's very vulnerable. And I feel like, especially as a girl, it's important to have that kind of representation, and it's very nice to see someone kind of deal with things similar to what you do or grieve the same way. It's just I don't know. I think she's a bit more relatable in comparison to Superman. As much as I love Big Blue,
I very much appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question real quick, and then Jesse, you can go right ahead.
Okay.
What superhero do you see yourself in the most, and why? See, that's really difficult. I see myself as like a. See, I would be like a less wimpy version of Spider-Man at the start. sorry for everyone that's a Spider-Man supporter. I'm sorry, but I feel like I'd just be a little bit less of that, and I see myself a little bit as Spider-Man because of the stuff he goes through, and I feel like I could be as good as probably as good as a person as he would be, definitely. Go ahead, Jesse.
Still laughing at that. Oh god. What I was gonna say is I see myself more like Thor. You think he's all perfect, but really then you see underneath his like origin, like he's lost so much, and I have also lost so much. Like this man lost his father, his mom, everything, and that's how I see myself as because I see that I've lost most things that I loved. And it could go like different ways, like, oh, I could see myself as Spider-Man because here I act all cheerful, I interrupt, and I try to make my own jokes, but deep down inside I feel like Thor because I have lost so much and I always try to cover it up.
A really good answer. Thank you. I want to jump in real quick because I am going to say Superman, but not for any reason that you would think Superman. For me, it's Superman always embodies what he stands for, right? He stands by his principles and his morals. And I'm going to reference a comic book just that way if you want to go out there and check it out. It's Superman Action Comics number 775. What's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way? And it's Superman standing up to these like new wave of heroes that are edgy and cool and they're doing all the current stuff and he's standing by his belief that I can take you down without you know seriously hurting you. I can do this my way. I don't have to do it your way. It's a very powerful issue because it really is standing up for what you believe in. And to me, I'm like, yeah, that's it. Because I agree with Ashley. It's so hard to like say Superman because he's so dang perfect all the time. He's the big blue Boy Scout. But that book to me has sealed it because it was Superman showing that I will not waver. I will not change with the times. This is who I am. So
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that. And thank you for coming on and saying that, Mr. Smith. We really appreciate that. So, any more podcasters want to say anything? Genesis, have you gotten a chance to go on this one yet?
So, I see myself like as Batgirl, because she's funny, and she's also sometimes like sarcastic, which I can be sometimes, and like yeah, I see myself as her.
Thank you for sharing that, Genesis. I really appreciate that. I misclicked the mute button about 5 different times, so that's probably why I didn't get it on first try there. But yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I really appreciate that. Sarcasm and humor is definitely one of my big traits as well. So I'm glad to see another person that has it. But yeah, I'm gonna move us on to our. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Miko, go ahead, and then Laya, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I think the superhero I see myself most, I would say just Batman because you know how he's like, oh, he's like hidden in the dark or all that stuff, right? So I would think if I were to see somebody like, oh, I don't know, like throw plastic in like in the street or like a bottle or he's littering, I would just like walk up to them and just say, no littering. And I would just walk away.
Jeez.
Hey, I just think that's what I would do.
Litter.
No littering.
No, I get scared.
Hey, purchase this.
I feel like
You gonna
I
pick
get so
that
scared.
up?
Dude, I'd jump. I'd be like, okay, fine. Here, it's in the trash. Okay.
God,
Like-
Topic, what did you wanted to say after we heard the "you're a litterer" or something like that in the deepest voice possible?
I'm gonna answer the question and say okay, hear me out. He's a villain and a hero. It's
that
Loki.
must be-
Okay, I'm gonna circle back. I love Loki,
So the
but I
anti-hero?
relate to him. Okay, hear me out. He's not just an anti-hero. He is a hero in his own little world.
I just said anti-hero because that's how
He
I
is
describe
saying anti-hero and hero both. But I would say he like hurts so much, but he also tries staying he genuinely tries to like measure up to standards, and I try doing that as well. So I relate to him a lot. But he also has his own issues, which is why I can relate to him so much. He has issues, but he's also this huge character. He's not just Mr. Perfect. He's not Mr. Perfect in the way that authors portray like Superman. Like we've called him like the Boy Scout in a blue suit. Loki isn't that perfect guy. He genuinely struggles, and that's what a lot of us do.
Mind if I kind of cut in to add? Because I like it how everybody's saying like, "Oh, Superman is perfect." Yet I have kind of seen more and more DC parts where it goes like and like Superman has like the same problems somewhat Thor has, except he didn't witness it. He just like suffers at times. Like for instance, in that newest movie where he gets that other part of the message, he literally goes inside the house and he's like trying his best to hold on to every single bit of ounce of rage, considering how his parents did not think of him as a hero, but rather someone to rule over another planet. He
Well, I appreciate that, Jesse. Thank you for the new perspective on that. You know, I didn't really know Superman that was that kind of guy. So
Oh,
thank you for
Superman.
enlightening me on that. So we're gonna move on to our last question, and this one is very exciting. And I think I touched on this topic a bit ago here. Um, why do we need real life superheroes? And like, why do we need them in, like, where we live now?
Okay, I want to answer this in the most biblical way possible because it says like, hey, it has like a lot of heroes and a lot of reasons. Think of Moses, okay? He decided he wanted him to be the word for Jesus or something, like to help the people of Egypt, like the Jews. If he did not help them, they would still be in Egypt to this day, building the pyramids or something. Like he sent the 10 plagues for a reason.
That's a brilliant belief, Jesse. And I would say that we need heroes in our world because if we didn't, this world would be a very, very cool place without really any good. I mean, think about the people who help people pay off loans or buy groceries for homeless people. Like, it would be a very, very sad place. Like, police officers, they're heroes in their own way. We wouldn't have the protection, like Gavin had said earlier, we wouldn't have protection. The people who fight fires, we would have fires everywhere, I guess. But heroes play such a huge part in this world because it would be a very cool place and we wouldn't have role models to really look up to and say that's who I want to be when I grow up.
Right. I just want to add to that. We need heroes and superheroes, and we need all that in this world because when tragedy strikes, we see often the worst of humanity, and then we see the best of humanity, right? We see the best of humanity that inspires the comic book creators to create heroes based off of what they saw. Um, we can look in the newspapers and see heroic acts all the time. Whenever there's something just life changing that happens, there's people that step up. And for some of them, it's the ultimate sacrifice. So I think that's why we need heroes because the world's scary and they need to inspire us. And then they inspire the superheroes to be created. And then we have this cycle that just doesn't end. And it's been going on since the days of Captain America's creation, who was born out of one of the craziest times in history. And here is this star spangled man inspiring hope. So
Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice.
Stop it.
All right.
Stop
So
it.
anyway, moving on.
That was
Does anybody want to go? Does anybody want to go before we end her off? All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe to that YouTube channel we got there. We have a bunch of socials. Go check the Monday Minute. Wait, no, we don't have it on the Monday Minute anymore. Okay, well, just go up onto Instagram and hit the tag thing and then Elite Academic, or just look it up. We are everywhere. But anyway, thanks to marketing. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. You'll see me next time. And thank you for watching the Be Elite Podcast. Peace out, everybody.